It's Beards and Bangers, and something a little bit different today. I'm not driving a vehicle today for a change. I'm talking to you from my armchair. No, it's not really my armchair. It's the vehicle in which I spend most of my working week. So I won't talk about what I do too much, because this channel's not about what I do. It's about what I do in my spare time. So, but I work in something related to the construction industry, so I'm often out and about between building sites during the week, and I sit in this rather comfy Volkswagen Transporter. Now, I'm not actually going to drive this vehicle today because as you can hear, I'm a little bit husky, a little bit croaky. It's been a long week. I've got a bit of laryngitis, so I'm not really feeling that chatty. I've not had a chance to get out in any cars, so I thought I'd talk to you from the comfort of my my VW Transporter. So before I get into that, big thank you to Boaty from £500 cheap car challenge. Try that again. £500 cheap car challenge. So thank you, Boaty, for your massive support this week, and those of you who are watching this video, those of you who subscribe to my channel, please head on over to Boaty's channel. He's got some really interesting stuff on there, not just cars, but some other bits and bobs as well. So yeah, £500 I'm gonna struggle. Sorry, Boaty. £500 cheap car challenge. So head on over to there, and yeah, Boaty's channel's really interesting. So now, why haven't I done a review on the Volkswagen Transporter? Probably for me because it's not an MG or a Rover or a Jaguar or a Fiat or any other car, but I do like VWs. Actually, I did sell a Volkswagen Golf a little earlier this year. I sold it spares and repairs. It was a 2005 Golf 5-door 1.6 automatic. Now, Volkswagens do their automatic gearbox is something called DSG. Don't ask me what it stands for, but the DSG gearbox, or the DSG mechanism on the Volkswagen Golf's gearbox had gone wrong. So the car was driving, but the gear changes were seriously lurchy, and there was sort of clunks and funny gear changes, revs going all over the place. So I took it into a specialist to have a look at it. The cost of repairing a DSG gearbox is a 4-figure sum, and I wasn't prepared to spend that kind of money on that vehicle. Had it been an MG with an automatic gearbox, I probably would have done, being quite honest with you. But I didn't want to spend that kind of dosh on that car. But I put it up on Facebook Marketplace, spares and repairs, and got just shy of £1,000, and I fell off my chair. I had people ringing me left, right and centre. So obviously German cars, Volkswagen Golfs, even if the automatic gearbox has gone wrong, seem to be desirable. So my van here, my works van here, has got the same gearbox. It's got the DSG. This is a 7-speed though, rather than a 6-speed, and it's okay, but this car's got so many bells. Or this van, sorry, has got so many bells and whistles on it. You've got lane assist, so I've turned that off because that adjusts your steering. It bleeps at you and jiggles the steering wheel when you're going in the wrong lane, or it thinks you're veering in the wrong lane. But with the state of some British roads, it's kind of adjusting your steering when you're actually perfectly aligned in the middle of the carriageway. So that's a little bit frustrating when that's on. You've got adaptive cruise control, which is good, but it will keep you so far back from the car in front. So it'll actually slow you down sometimes, which on, say, the M25, where you've got the variable speed limits, it's a little bit frustrating. Of course, it's got traction control, but then most cars have. I'm not that disenchanted with traction control. Park assist, so it parks itself if it feels like it. It's got an emergency brake, so if you're reversing or manoeuvring in a car park and you think you're going to hit someone, it automatically stops the car. The first time that happened, I nearly shit myself. I kid you not. I thought I'd actually hit something because the car stops with such a bang. You think you've actually hit something. So I got out thinking, Christ, I've reversed into someone, and I hadn't. So I think what it boils down to is the fact that I really only like cars that are slightly shabby, cars that haven't got bells and whistles on, and things that aren't too perfect. So I did have another one of these before this one, and that was I think this is a T30, and I had the series before. I'm not too good on Volkswagen transporters. It's not something I read up on or research that much. Maybe I should. Yeah, there's no CD player. It's got a reversing camera, which is good, and I do need a reversing camera on the ZT190 because that, it's a bit hard to sometimes see. Particularly, I live in a Victorian area, so it's on street parking, and sometimes you're trying to squeeze a car into a tight space. Saying that, I have got some kind of parking assist on the ZT190 because it has got a tow bar, so and I'm being very tongue-in-cheek, that does help offer some protection at the rear of the vehicle, but we won't say anything else about that today. But yeah, my previous Volkswagen Transporter, now that kept going wrong. So that was actually quite a pleasing vehicle. That had a CD player, so that's something that's important. I've got a large CD collection. I love my classical music, and I love some 80s and 90s music as well. So not being able to play CDs, and I'm not technical enough to be able to rip, I think that's the correct word. I'm not technical enough to be able to rip my CDs to get them onto my phone to listen to them through the Bluetooth. So yeah, I think driving a really modern car, really modern vehicle, it just reminds me how much I love my older cars. And I say I haven't got an proper old car. I haven't got anything. I think the BRM that's 1998, so that's the oldest vehicle currently here. Yeah, previously I've always had things like MGB was my first car. I haven't got a picture of that. My Dolomite Sprint was an absolutely cracking vehicle. I'm trying to think. I should do a video actually on all my cars because I know that's quite nice. I have to try and hunt for photographs though. I wasn't a massive taker of photographs in my youth, so I may not have pictures of all my cars. But my first modern car was actually a Volkswagen Polo Mark II, and that was nice. And they are rare as hen's teeth now. I've got a bit of a bad habit, and I'm sure a lot of you have as well, of going on eBay and looking at various cars and seeing what's available. I would love to find a Mark II Volkswagen Polo. And if any of you have got or know of a Volkswagen Mark II Polo out there, then please do let me know, because I'd love to do a video on a Mark II Volkswagen Polo, or even a Mark I. Because I think they're charming little cars, and it brings back some happy memories. So yeah, so MGB, Volkswagen Polo, my two first cars. First car I drove was my mum's Volkswagen 340 DL, which had the rubber band CVT gearbox that Volvo inherited when they took over DAF in the late 1970s. And I drove that car so enthusiastically that I actually managed to snap one of the rubber bands as I was doing about 70 miles an hour on a dual carriageway. And I remember seeing the rubber band flying behind me in the rear view mirror, and narrowly missing the car that was coming up behind me. So fortunately, I was probably about 17 at this time. Fortunately, I was right near a McDonald's drive-through, and they were a thing when I was 17. So I was able to sit in there and gorge myself on food while I waited for my father, and he was very, very understanding. He didn't hit the roof at all. He just made me pay for the repairs. So that was an early lesson. And will I buy a car with a CVT gearbox again? Probably not. So yeah, if I see a Volvo 340 automatic on eBay for even peanuts, I will not be buying it. That is absolutely fair to say. So yeah, I think, yeah, definitely cars that are very simple inside are the ones for me. The only thing I'll get excited about is Bluetooth, because hands-free talking, hands-free telephone use, obviously it's a safety thing, and that's really important. So I know I'm being a bit flippant and jokey in this video, but certain features on modern cars are really important. But for me personally, I like a car with a bit of personality that might go a bit wrong, might give you something to do. I like that. It's good. But yeah, will I do a test drive of this for you? Probably not. But yeah, happy Saturday. Have a cracking rest of the weekend. Thank you to those supporting me. Thank you again, Boaty. Thank you to those who are subscribing. Please continue to like and subscribe these like these videos and subscribe to my channel. It's really appreciated. I'm passionate about cars, especially MG Rover. You're going to get bored of me, but I am going to do some other stuff with other marques at some point in the near future. So have a good rest of weekend, and I'll catch up with you very soon.